The E.A.F.P podcast.
As electrifying as a hairdryer thrown into a hot tub, my friend.
On the JCA Sports Podcast on Spotify and Anchor app.
Hey everybody, what's up? I'm back. Welcome to another episode of the E.A.F.P podcast here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, under the Star 6 Media and the John Konavi Facebook page. Guys, make sure you follow all our social media platforms, not only just Facebook, but also YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. What else do we have? TikTok. All our social media platforms under the Star 6 Media page. And then you'll find all our other podcasts, not including my soccer podcast, but other podcasts are going around too as well, from sports, from 3 Up 3 Down for baseball, only football, obviously American football, and the John Konavi sports podcast too, as we go around the whole National League and sports all around. But I'm back. It's been a while since I've done this. As you can see, I started off a little rusty, but it's all good. This is why I'm here, fixes, and try to make the show great. A lot to get into today. We got Copa del Rey semifinals that happened today in a very... what's the right word I'm trying to look for this one? Not as entertaining first leg semifinal match that we assumed that we were going to get. Get a little bit of more of the Premier League. La Liga Mexicana too is coming hot and going. The tail end of the Premier League and all the leagues around Europe too as well. Dive in a little bit next week. We have not next week. Yeah, next week we have a little preview of the Champions League and Europa League too, as well as around the 16 comes to an end and also start for the Europa League. And then I'm going to give you guys my best bets for the weekend too as well. Got some money for you guys to win. So far, my soccer bets have been good. If only I just cash out instead of trying to hit these parlays of like mixing basketball and baseball and football and all these, parlays into one to get a big outcome. I think I would have some serious money right now. But soccer bets are here. I got good ones for you guys this week. At least my good ones for the weekend. But let's get into it, guys. If you want to join, let me put this on there too as well. If you want to join me into the soccer conversation, whether if you want to show your face or not, or just post it up in the comment section, I will read them out. Join me. I know I said 6 o'clock. I was a little early, but as my good coach once said, Coach Tony, if you're on time, you are late. So just always remember that, guys. Always remember that. Let's get into it. The first game that came on today, the only game of importance, I guess you can say, from today is what happened between Real Madrid and Barcelona. I think it's one of three that we're going to get within the next couple of weeks between these two teams. We're going to see them a lot more often. It's normally how we normally should around this time of year. Real Madrid and Barcelona, especially when, La Liga's up for grabs and, obviously the Copa del Rey. And, back then it used to be the Champions League, but now it's just one. Real Madrid just having a comfortable lead in that one against Liverpool. That's the stream if you guys want to. The link if you guys want to join me and talk about some football, some soccer here today. But yeah, let's get Barcelona and Real Madrid. I have it right here, 1-0 Barcelona in a very not so entertaining game. And I think the only reason why it wasn't that entertaining is because of one team just decided not to show up. Now, to all my Real Madrid fans that are out there, I really want to know where you guys' take is on this, simply because why is it that we see a performance like we did against Liverpool and Anfield last week, but then we get the performance that we got against Atletico Madrid? Now, I get it. And maybe Atletico Madrid is not the best example of giving, but, a team that's also struggling. I think everybody in La Liga has been struggling from Real Madrid to Barcelona to Atletico Madrid. Like, this has been a very subpar season for La Liga. And understandably so, not everybody. Understandably so, simply because of the quality that's been out there, right? But for Real Madrid, especially a team that just won the Champions League last year, a team that that once they're revved up and they're ready to go, they're one of the best teams in the world, and there's no other team next to them that could compete to them, right? But I want to know why. I feel I know why, and I'll give you my answer why, right? At least my opinion on why Real Madrid has been playing the way they have been playing, not just within the last couple weeks, but literally the whole entire season. And the performance today, like, you would think, right? You and I and all, their fans, Barca fans, and all the neutrals that love to watch this Clásico would have thought that they would turn up for this game. They didn't turn up. This game was just, how should I say this? It was just flat out boring. Other than the little fight between Frankie De Jong and Vinicius in the first half, that's basically all the entertainment that we got. Militao scoring the own goal, which is the only goal of the game, for Barcelona in a very nice build up from Barca. But other than that, you would have thought that Real Madrid, some way somehow, being at home, would turn up for this game. They didn't, and it's been like that throughout the whole entire season. Games against, I think it was Osasuna, games against um who's Real Sociedad, who's been good, but like teams that are like in the bottom half, Real Madrid have been struggling this year. And I believe this, and this is just me only. I want to know what you guys think. Put it on the comment section. If I'm right, if I'm wrong, maybe I'm seeing it completely different, because I've only seen probably like a handful and a half of Real Madrid games and Barcelona games and La Liga games, simply because, well, it's on my phone. It's always on ESPN Plus, but I just have it as background noise. But for me, and this is how I feel about Liverpool too, right? For me, this is just me personally. This is how I personally feel about them and why they're struggling too as well in the Prem. But Real Madrid has always been there. Copa del Rey finals, obviously your 38 games that you play for La Liga, 36 however games they may be, being the champions, having title races, Champions League finals, semifinals, um, as of recent now, the Club World Cups, um, the Spanish Super Copas. You have this and that on these many games, on these amount of players, and a team that, to me, rarely upgrades. And that's the same problem with Liverpool. Liverpool barely upgrades in the positions of need that they have. Now look, they lost Casemiro. I think they wanted to give a chance to Camavinga, who's been pretty ice hot and cold throughout the whole entire season. Lately he's been playing very well. Obviously you have Luka Modric, who's aging like fine wine, and you have Tony Kroos, who's up there to an age, but again, still playing top notch game, top notch football. Um, Defensively kind of inconsistent. You really don't have that backline threat that you normally have for Real Madrid for years. And I guess Militao finally getting his way and him scoring on goal. I mean, so you still got Big Ben's up top. That's something that you're it's always a guaranteed, right? You feel the ball more than likely 8, 9 times out of 10, he's going to be end up scoring the goal and putting the ball in the back of the net. Um, but also at the same time, I just want to know why. Like to me, it's just, I think it's too many games on these amount of players, right? Like Hernan Valverde, who, and obviously the World Cup doesn't help being in the middle of the season in November and December too. Like I feel like these players are are being drained, and it's the same players that obviously last year won the Champions League final, and they played the La Liga last year and winning their title too as well. On top of that, right? I want to say they even won Copa del Rey last year too, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think so. I'm not sure. But anyways, I'm going on for real with that one. But I really do believe, and that's also Liverpool's problem too as well, is that they played too many games. They have played too many games in the last couple, 3, 4, 5, 6 seasons. Let's go three with the same amount of players, and they really didn't upgrade most of the positions. They lost Casemiro, like I said earlier, and it's a void that they need to fill. And it's a big void that you need to fill. Obviously, he went to Manchester United, semi turning around that club, but it's like it just seems like these guys are getting burnt out, and the lack of competition that's coming in, and the lack of competitiveness, like I said, lack of competition, but lack of competitiveness for this team to take a next step. Obviously, Vinicius Jr., it looks like he's gonna be that next great player, and in games like today, it's the Super Classico. You have to show up. You need to show up, especially if you're playing against Barcelona. And instead, he wants to wrestle Frankie De Jong in the middle of the pitch, get a yellow card. And that's always been Vinicius Jr. sometimes, where I kind of don't feel that confident of him being taking the next step. It's like there's moments in games throughout the season, and I've seen it, years prior, and even this past World Cup, where Vinicius kind of like there's nowhere to be found most of the time, right? It doesn't really take over. And give credit to Barcelona today. I know I'm talking about Real Madrid a lot more, but give credit to Barcelona. They had a decent game plan for them. They kind of isolated them, shut them down. They worked well defensively. They worked well as they worked well as a team together. And obviously, with that's been Barcelona's mo this year is being defensively stout um, from the get go, and that's what Xavi's kind of instilled into them. Like they have to prepare it and be playing 90 plus minutes, and I think and Xavi's been doing good to a certain aspect of this game. Obviously, Europe has always been a problem and has been a problem for him, even when he was qualifying for Champions and obviously Europa League to play against Manchester United, that now he's eliminated in. But when it comes to La Liga, when it comes to Copa del Rey, you can tell that Xavi um, has his players down ready to go, and that's the one thing you got to credit to. But again, also same thing, kind of stagnant. His play is kind of slow. His build up is not all that great, and obviously he's finally got a good team or a decent team to build around, but it's still not enough. There's still a long ways to go for this Barcelona team. And I say all of this, and guess what? They're in first place in La Liga with a few points clear of Real Madrid. Let me get that going right now. See what I got right here. Um, they're in first. They're in first place in La Liga, and that should say something more about Real Madrid and the lack of 7 points. They're 7 points clear of Real Madrid in top of La Liga, and and that's pretty much it because Real Sociedad with 43 and Atletico Madrid with 42. Here you go, 17 points away. It just keeps mounting. It just again it goes to show how much of a step back on a very weak Barcelona squad um, Real Madrid has taken, because for them to have still the same squad that won the Champions League last year minus Casemiro, um, it's still got the same good players and a good squad. Yes, they got Rafinha, Lewandowski. Barcelona did a good upgrade over the offseason, but you will still put your money on Real Madrid to win it. Now, again, it's 7 points. It's in basketball or American football aspects. That's 2.5 games ahead of Barcelona being ahead of Real Madrid. But even then, it's just this is not the performance you want to get from Real Madrid, a Real Madrid team that has almost won everything in almost everything and everywhere, in almost every competition. So, yeah, I was very disappointed. I was pretty excited to watch today's game. Got really disappointed that I didn't get enough of it. I didn't get any. I didn't get no excitement out of it, and very very disappointed in Real Madrid and they're starting to play, and especially at home. And that's the killer right there for me too. That they play that at home. You guys are listening to the E.A.F.P podcast and watching the E.A.F.P podcast here on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch under the John Konavi and also the Star Six Media Facebook page too as well. Hey guys, we also have other shows too under the Star Six Media page, just like Only Football here.
What's up, everybody? It's Kyle.
And I'm Rick, and welcome to Only Football, where we talk about everything going on in the NFL. You can catch our live streams on Mondays for trivia and Q&A, Thursdays for news around the league, as well as episodes of Only Football with Kyle that you can catch on Instagram and YouTube every Wednesday.
Follow us to keep up with the latest football news, trades, off-season rumors, and our favorite conspiracies here on Only Football. See ya!
See ya!
Conspiracies, huh? I wonder what conspiracies that they have. I mean, obviously there's a lot of football conspiracies, soccer conspiracies, but I wonder what they have. So make sure you guys tune in to Only Football throughout the week too, as well, here on the on the Star Six Media Facebook platform. It's been on. I haven't been on in a while. Busy work schedule, life, all that. Selección Mexicana news. I got some for you guys. They have a new manager. In Diego Coca, one Argentinian to another. This feels like a meh, I guess, hiring. This feels like And I get it. Look, Diego Coca, there's no he's done, I guess you can say, in the little time he has in the Liga Mexicana, obviously he did the impossible, right? He did the impossible. He won back to back titles with Atlas last year, and now he got the job with Tigres, and now he has the I guess the pleasure of coaching the Selección Mexicana. Like I said, from one Argentina to another, but it just didn't. No, it's the same old for the Selección Mexicana. It just we just were. How should I want to be nice, but I don't want to, right? But it's like these guys make it so hard for me to be happy about what they are doing now. I will give you this. They are planning meetings to have the promotion and regulation back in La Liga Mexicana. They are having discussions of reducing the international players to play in their clubs, right? They are they are expanding, trying to expand their ways to send, their players from here from Mexico to Europe, right? And these are all conversations that are going to have within this off season, this past summer. And I get it, right? But I'm not happy. I don't like this, and I get that you have this Nations League Cup tournament that you have at the end of the month, right? And but I would have been, and I would have been okay. I don't know who I would have been okay with, who they hired, right? I think Tuca should have gotten a fair chance, but I get it. Tuca's kind of, that up in age, but it's also a guy who understands the Liga Mexicana, who understands the Mexican players, who understands how and what to do with these quote unquote Mexican players. Look, obviously you're going to get your European players. Okay, that's fine. But how well do you know La Liga Mexicana? And I get it. Diego Coca has only been here for a handful of years, right? As for Tuca has been here probably what 15, 20 years, give or take. So if you want a guy who understands the value of the deeply rooted Mexican soccer players, it is Tuca Ferretti for me. And I would have loved to have him as the coach and give him a chance, and not the the bull crap that happened years ago. I think after Svensson and Eriksson, where you went from one manager to another to another to another to another just to qualify for the World Cup. That's how long ago it's been. I don't even remember the year. I want to say it was probably after the 2010 World Cup, before the 2014 World Cup. That's all I know. Even then, even on top of all of that, I just don't like this hire. I don't. I get it. He won back-to-back leagues with Atlas, who Atlas haven't won in like 120,000 years. Or I know I'm over exaggerating on the years, but it's been a long time for Atlas to actually win a title, and they did it in back-to-back years. They did it. We're a very sound midfield. Defensively, they're very stout. And they got you on the counterattacking game very easily. It looks like his style of play to me, how I saw it, was deeply rooted going on the left side. So your left side needs to be very, how should I say this? Very, not flashy, but is ready to need to be on the ball, right? But granted, the midfield has to be solid. Now, I know there was reports the other day, not even the other day, today, that Guardado and Hector Herrera are not in his plans to be called up for the Selección Mexicana. I'm okay with that too. I think Hector Herrera showed his age in this World Cup that he just doesn't have it anymore. Andres Guardado, he's already up there in age, so I get that part right there, right? And I feel like now we're probably going to see a little bit more of the youngsters that are going to give a shot or going to give a chance to play with the Selección Mexicana. And as much as I've been also preaching and saying that too as well, you give these youngsters a chance. I still believe like this guy is not up to par. It just, I don't know. Maybe because I still have the Argentina angst of what I got with Tata Martino, and I guess that's what's kind of killing me right now at the moment, where I just kind of don't trust him at the time, at this certain time. But I have to see, and we're going to see what he has or what he can bring or what plan that this guy has. At the end of the month of March, when the Nations League, when I guess they have what Suriname and Jamaica, I think that's where they play at the end of the month. later podcast for that. So, am I happy? I mean, anybody outside of Tata, great. But am I happy? No. But I do want to give this guy a chance. And I'm not saying I'm not trying to be a very I'm trying to be a bad person here or not giving a guy a credit. But I do want to give this man a chance and see what he could bring. But until I see changes, obviously the one thing I did like to see is the presidente for La Selección Mexicana. What's his name? What's his name? Oh my God. Let me look him up. Where is he? La Luisa. He's not running for re-election. So there has to be major changes around. Duca came out a couple of days ago saying that the Mexican soccer has been stagnant and has been declining, and I agree 100%. Ever since they took away this team that's in last place, you give money that way they can stay above, and you take away the promotion and regulation away from the selection from La Liga Mexicana, where you take away, competing in Copa America or Copa Libertadores for the Selección Mexicanas and the club Mexican teams. It's you take away the growth of not only your selección, but you take away the growth of your clubs, right? Obviously, I always believed, right, that the Copa Libertadores is like the Champions League over here on the America sides, right? I've always been a big believer that not the CONCACAF Champions League that they're doing just to mix in with the MLS teams and all the other Central American teams and Caribbean teams. And I get that you give them their opportunity too as well. I'm not saying you don't, right? And I guess you give them their tournament too, just like how Europe has the Europa League and the Europa Conference League. You do something like that to them, where you still find levels in playing your best teams in Copa Libertadores, both here in the United States and in Mexico, and your second tier teams. You might get lucky where you get Chivas in there, Cruz Azul, Club America, all that in the CONCACAF Champions Leagues, right? And I get that you have that opportunity, right? But to me, I feel like you give your best of your best to the Copa Libertadores, which you should come up again. You bring back Copa America, where you put in the Selección Mexicana. Like literally, it should be called Copa America, where North America and South America kind of like and have this tournament, just like how they have all of Europe. All of Europe is all over the place. Have the Americas too. It's called Copa America for a reason. I believe they should bring that back too as well. And actually make that into a competition to where the Selección Mexicana could raise a level or two. Now, I get it. Nobody wants to see Venezuela, Ecuador, who were by the World Cup, by the way, Bolivia. Um, who else am I missing? But you still have Chile, you still have Argentina, you still have Brazil, Uruguay. You still have top-notch countries in South America that can help you compete and raise up your level for the Selección Mexicana that will get you well prepared for the World Cups. Now, this next World Cup is going to be here and in Mexico and in Canada. So, but find a way to keep the competitive level up and find a way to make your Selección Mexicana more successful, or your Selección more successful in these type of tournaments, these big tournaments that a lot of teams take serious. And not only, like I said, not only for country, but club too as well. They need to put back the Mexican teams back into the Copa Libertadores, back into Copa America, just for them to compete in top levels and raise their level when it comes to the national and international stages for club and country. I think these talks that they're going to have to bring back regulation and promotion and the reduction of international players to your club teams and having a possibility, hopefully, to bring them, put the Selección Mexicana and the club teams back into international tournaments. I think that's just great. And they should start doing that because, like Tuca said, it's stagnant. And it's stagnant, because of the opportunities for the Mexican players and for also the Selección Mexicana. And I think it's time. It's time that we should finally invest to make the league. Don't make this league between the MLS and the United States. The MLS and La Liga Mexicana. Don't do that, because first things first. MLS doesn't run on FIFA schedule. They only play in the summer, and that will just ruin everything. And I just don't want that. So hopefully, do the right thing. I don't think so. I really don't. But who knows? Maybe there are some common sense people up there. Normally I do this for half an hour. I am running out of time. So I'm just gonna give you guys my best soccer bets for the weekend. I have some good ones. I have a little tasty one just if you guys want to dabble a little bit. But these are my picks for the weekend. West Ham and Brighton, I actually have them a draw. I think that's a good value play right there. Brighton, both teams, West Ham trying to get out of the relegation zone. Brighton haven't really been playing that well. They won one, they draw one, they drew one, they lost one, and they won one in the last 3 games. And they've been up and down ever since, the Sunderland and the Trussard to Arsenal. Thank you. And they just haven't been playing how they started the season. So I like that one right there. Brighton West Ham on a draw. I also like this one too as well. Bayern Munich on the money line minus 270. They're going to capitalize on the game that's going to be played tomorrow between Leipzig and Borussia Dortmund. So I like these two. So I like the money line. They got Stuttgart. So give me Bayern Munich at minus 270. Give me also money line on AC Milan plus 145. I like that play a lot too as well. You're getting good value. Them against Fiorentina. It's going to be Saturday in the afternoon. And AC Milan have been playing very well as of late. So I like this one. And then the America Pachuca over 2.5 goals. I like that one too as well. Both teams can score. I think 2.5 goals is reasonable and could be reached in this game too as well. All those 4 picks? Yes, all those 4 picks gives you a plus of 2,190, where the $10 bet can win you $210. My picks have been good so far for the last couple of weeks. I'm trying to help you guys well. And if you guys want to dabble just a little bit in tomorrow's game, like I said, between Leipzig and Dortmund, I like this one. Does it mean that I'm going to play it? I don't know, man. I'm going to stay away from this one. You're talking about number 2 against number 4 in the Bundesliga. And this one's going to be a good one. My eyes are going to be definitely on this game for tomorrow's matchup. I like this one. I think this is the safest one. You're going to Dortmund is favorite plus 105 against Leipzig. I think Leipzig was like 160. Let me double check on that one real quick. But I think this plays a good one. Yeah, Dortmund 120, Leipzig plus 190. Both of them, everything's all plus for this matchup, and that's how tightly close it is. As Dortmund is at home against Leipzig. So, yeah, if you guys want to sprinkle this one, that one's a good one too. I think the draw is a safe bet for me, or the safest bet. Over goals 1.5. I think both of these teams are going to score. So, that's the podcast for today. Thank you guys for watching, listening. I will be back on every week, every Thursday, 6 o'clock. Make sure you guys always like and follow and share the Star 6 Media Facebook page and also the John Konavi Facebook page too as well. Make sure you guys like, follow, subscribe, hit the little bell to get notified when our shows are going to be live. Not just mine, but the John Konavi 3 Up, 3 Down. The baseball season right around the corner. Only football, as they're going to go throughout the whole entire year. And Big League Chicago, who should be making a return sometime in the summer. For myself, America, I'm going to thank you guys very much. I will see you guys next week. Good luck this week on your gambling. And as always, go Arsenal.
Scrooge smile with the quality of his goal.
See you later.
Oh. Yes. Yes.
He's intolerable.